Today I'm going to show you how to screen print using a Cricut. It's affordable, beginner-friendly, and gives you a professional, long-lasting print without expensive equipment. If you want clean results and an easy way to make custom shirts, this is for you. Let's get started. The first thing that you want to do is upload your design to the Cricut design space. I used to use my computer for this, but I find it a little easier just to use your mobile device. The app works great, and it's going to connect to your Cricut via Bluetooth. Once you get your design uploaded, it's time to move to the next step. I like my design to be anywhere between 8 inches wide to 10 inches wide. Most designs fit within this measurement. Next, select your materials and then connect your phone to your Cricut. Before you hit cut, make sure you put mirror on. This is the most important step. If you do not do this, your design will be messed up and you'll have to start all over again. Put mirror on. Okay, once you've done that, go ahead and get your design cut out. I also like to move my design towards the center. This is going to make weeding a little bit easier and the printing process a little bit easier. So go ahead and center that design. Once you get your vinyl cut, it's time to weed out the excess vinyl. If I were you, I would pull up an image of your design so you have a reference. Just take your time with this. A lot of people find this process very therapeutic. Once you get your design weeded out, it's time to apply the transfer tape. Make sure that transfer tape is really on your vinyl. Give it a solid press, but don't press too hard because you will rip the vinyl. Once you get your transfer tape onto the vinyl, it's time to apply it onto the screen. Peel off the back of the vinyl and your design is going to stick to the transfer tape. Now the vinyl is going to be very sticky. I like to use Cricut Smart Vinyl. I've used other types of vinyl and it got really sticky and messed up my screen. Every time I use the Cricut brand, I never had an issue with it. And if you go with the Smart Vinyl, it's matless, so you don't even need a mat to cut the vinyl. Once you apply your vinyl or your stencil onto your screen, peel away that transfer tape. Just take it nice and slow and make sure no vinyl is getting onto your transfer tape when you're peeling it off. Once you know the vinyl is stuck to your screen, go ahead and flip it over and you can give it another roll just to be sure that the vinyl is actually stuck to your screen. Take your time with this entire process, because these are the most important steps right in the beginning. Getting your decal cut out, making sure it's on mirror, and placing it onto your screen. When you go to put your decal or your stencil on your screen, put it on the back of the screen, not the front of the screen. This is why we went with that mirror option, because when you screen print, you're gonna want a smooth surface when you press the ink through. That's why we put the vinyl on the back of the screen. Okay, once your stencil is on the back of your screen, it's time to tape out the rest of your screen. For this, you're just going to use painter's tape, and I like to cover the entire screen. You don't have to do this, but me being clumsy, I would probably drip ink all over the place if it wasn't completely taped off. All right, your screen should be good to go. Now, I have a screen printing press in my garage. You don't have to use this. I made another video on a different technique if you don't have a screen printing press, but this is the easiest way to do it and the most efficient. So I highly recommend that you get a screen printing press. They're only about $100 on Amazon, and I will put the link in the description below. It's gonna save you a lot of time. It's gonna save you a lot of money. If you're getting into screen printing, I highly recommend that you get a screen printing press. The next thing that you want to do, and this is a really important step that I learned from a professional screen printer, grab some spray tack. Spray tack is going to keep your shirt on the board when you're lifting up the screen to apply ink. If you don't use spray tack, your shirt's gonna move and your design's gonna get messed up. When you're using spray tack, make sure you have open ventilation. I like to open up my garage door for this. It is a chemical, so put a mask on, open up that garage door, and try not to breathe this stuff in. Let it sit for a few minutes, and then you can go ahead and apply your shirt onto the board. I like to use this measuring guide. It is really useful and very helpful when you're lining up your design onto your t-shirt, and I will also put this link in the description below. It's a very useful tool, and I highly recommend it. Once you got your design lined up and everything's looking good, it's time to apply the ink. I usually get a plastic spoon for this, and you're going to want to put the ink on the top of your design and across the entire design. I like to slop a lot of ink. I like to slop a lot of ink on top of my design just so I get a first good clean press. And when you're pressing, press away from you, not towards you. You're only going to want to go one direction with this. It might look like I'm going back and forth, but I'm not. If you go back and forth, you're going to cause the microfibers in the t-shirt to move back and forth. It's going to cause bleeding and it's going to look like a horrible print job. So only go one direction. I like to push away from me. And then you notice in my technique, I actually lift lift the screen up and pull the ink back. I'm not actually putting the ink onto the t-shirt. And I usually go with at least 2 to 3 presses, and then it's time to check out your design. If your design is looking good, congratulations, you just got your first successful print job. Now, the more presses you do, you're gonna notice you might have to hit that a few times, and that's okay. That's why we have a screen printing press. Just pull the press back down and go ahead and apply more ink. If you're working with a white on black t-shirt, black t-shirts tend to take a lot more ink, but if you're using black ink or a colored ink, it seems to be actually easier to get a good print job versus putting white on black. Once your design is looking good on your t-shirt, it's time to heat it up a little bit. Now, you don't have to do this step, but I highly recommend it. This is called cooking your ink onto your t-shirt, and this is gonna help when you remove your t-shirt from the board. You can use a hair dryer, or you can pick up a heat gun from Harbor Freight, and it's pretty cheap. I'll try to find one on Amazon, and I'll put the link in the description below. Okay, watch this next print job. This is white ink on a black shirt, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. See that press? It doesn't really look that good. And that's okay, just bring your screen back down and press it again until the full design is onto your t-shirt. Congratulations, you are officially a screen printer. Once you've heated up your design and it looks semi-dry, it's time to peel your shirt off of that board. Now, this might be a little tricky with that spray tack, but just take your time with this. You don't want to mess up your design at this point. You've come very far, and just work that t-shirt off of that board and go ahead and hang it up. Now, when I'm screen printing, I like to do at least 3 print jobs, or even more. If you can get 10, more power to you. After about 6 prints, I usually stop because you're gonna notice bleeding within the design, but I've gotten at least up to 10 prints on a single screen before. If you notice bleeding in your design, it's probably time to stop screen printing. Using a Cricut isn't really designed for commercial use. It's more of at-home use or gift making. If you're struggling to find gifts for your family during the holiday season or birthdays throughout the years or special events, screen printing is a game changer. So many of my family members and friends hit me up during the holiday season and ask me for certain designs, or if they see a shirt that I'm wearing, they're like, hey, can I get a design? So it becomes a very useful tool, and you can make gifts for very cheap. Once you get all your designs printed, it's time to let them dry for at least 24 hours. Now, depending on the weather, it might dry a little bit quicker, but I would let it sit for at least 24 hours. After you got all your screen printing done and your shirts are drying, it's time to clean up. Try to get all the excess ink off of that screen because this ink is expensive and it's gonna make the cleanup job a little bit easier. Just scoop the ink off the screen and try to put as much back into the container as you can. Now, when you go to clean your screen, I suggest doing it outside, away from anything you don't want to get ink on. I made this jig to make the cleaning process a little bit easier. You don't need this, but it sure does help. Now, if you want to start fresh, which I recommend after you're done screen printing, I recommend taking everything off. Yes, remove the entire design and start all over again if you're going to screen print. But I know what you're going to ask. Are you able to keep the same design for multiple print jobs? Yes. And as you can see, I'm actually using hot water to clean my screen. If you want to start fresh, I recommend using hot water. I ran a hot water line outside, and it makes for an easy cleanup job. Now, most people probably don't have that in their house, so you can do this with cold water. It might be a little bit harder. If you want to keep your design, definitely use cold water. And just take your time rinsing all the ink off and taking the painter's tape off. And your design should still be good. I've used a screen for over a year on multiple presses. The vinyl sticks on there, especially if you're using the Cricut Smart permanent vinyl. It's up to you. I like to start fresh. Sometimes I keep the design if I'm gonna print it again. But if you start fresh, it's gonna help you get better at screen printing, working with designs, and also make you more confident in the process. Once you're all cleaned up and you waited 24 hours to let your t-shirts dry, it's time for the last step, heat pressing your design. In order for the ink to truly stay onto your t-shirt, you need to apply heat. Now, I use the Cricut heat press. You can use an iron if you don't have this tool, but having this tool makes it a lot easier, and I will put the link in the description below. Heat up your heat press or iron to 325, and we're gonna press it for 30 seconds. Get a piece of parchment paper, put it in between your t-shirt and your heat press. You don't want to burn off the ink. Let it sit for 30 seconds and go ahead and watch that steam rise. This has to be my favorite part because after this, you are done. Man, these t-shirts are looking great. Now, I've actually tried to do 2 layers before. I have never been successful with a Cricut. It's pretty tough, so I always stick to one-layer designs. If you know an easy method to do a 2-layer with a Cricut, please comment down below because I'd be stoked to give it another shot. Congratulations, you are done. And these t-shirts are looking amazing. Like I said, this is great for your own personal use or gift giving. Ever since I got into screen printing 5 years ago, I have yet to buy a t-shirt from any store. Now when I walk into stores, I'm like, hey, I like that design. I take a picture of it and I make it myself for about $3 versus spending anywhere between $26 to $35 for a t-shirt. I think it's totally worth the money. It's a lot of fun, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I respond to every comment. I am here to help. Hopefully this video helped you out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.